Hi guys, and finally welcome back to the last installment of the Pretty Mosaic tutorial. So now we are ready to do the cover. Let me tell you, this is like my 7th video today, and I have to say I'm tired. So if I get a bit of brain freeze halfway through, you know why. So now what I've done, let's just get some stuff out the way. Two 12 by 12 cardstock, and I've just joined them together using this tape. So you just put it down and then, join them together. Okay. So, and of course I'm putting the good side on the outside. Now I have already cut my chipboard. This is just stuff I had lying around that I'm using. And I have cut this ruler. Okay, so the chipboard is 8 in length by 6 1/4 wide. So you always want your cover a little bit bigger than the pages you're doing. Usually 1/2 inch is enough. And then my spine, I'm only got 3 pages on this, is 2 inches. And I've already, as you can see, stuck my cardstock here. And because I've got brain freeze, you might notice something a little odd here. This one, I cut it short. So rather than throw it away, because again, you know, I don't have much. They need to stop the lockdown now, so us crafters can stock up. So I'm just gonna, so I cut another piece and I'm gonna stick it there. There's no point in, wasting this. So I'm going to use this as the center of my album, but you know what, you don't have to do that because you do tend to waste a lot of paper when you do that. So you can also just do it like so, and then you can cut that piece off, and this join will be in the back. It just depends on what you like. Okay, but like I say, it doesn't have to be in the middle. So what I'm going to do, I don't think I'm going to put it in the middle. So I'm going to leave more or less an inch. I think that's about an inch. Okay, it's like 1.5 inches. It's fine. You can also leave less. You don't even have to leave that much. So we're going to stick this down. Remember the very first cover I made, I was terrified of doing it wrong, and especially sticking this down. So this is the first one, and like I say, in fact I'm going to bring it down a little bit. It's still in camera, isn't it? I'm still going to bring it down, and I'm going to leave a little bit of leeway there. So that's kind of straight. Let's have a look. I think that's quite straight. I'm just eyeballing it, and I've already taken that piece off. I'm taking the next one. It's almost straight. This paper, unfortunately, I have to tell you, I bought it, and it turns out it's not cut straight. It's squonk, so it's a bit difficult to use. And instead of returning it, I was going to return it, but I got sick again, and then I was like 3 months later, I wasn't going to return it. I just thought I'll just make do and use it for odds and ends. And anyway, here I am using it for a cover. So as you can see, I'm just taking everything off and stick it down. And now we are going to do the spine. And really, once you get the hang of doing this, it's actually quite easy. So again, I've put I'm just going to take it all off. Well, there we go. And you leave about 1/8. I tend to leave a little bit more. Let's just put my paper as straight as it can go. I tend to leave a little bit more than 1/8. I know some people make it quite narrow. I don't. I prefer to give it a bit more room. So I think that's fine there. Let's put it down. Then I'm going to put this guy down, and I'm just going to take everything off. But you can do it the other way if you want, you know, if you're a little bit reluctant. It just takes a bit of practice, that's all. So I'm going to put this down. Now, you know, this one is the one that's a little bit short. So I'm just lining it up, and I think that's about right. Yes. Yes, let's put it down. And my piece. But you see, mistakes can always be fixed. And then I'm going to put it right against this the big piece. And there we go. Bob's your uncle. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it back to my cutter, and I'm going to cut some of this off. Uh-oh. I think that's about enough. Yeah, that's enough. And I'm going to take... oh, I can't. Too long. So, I'm sort of going to cut it off. And it doesn't have to be perfectly straight, you know that. So I'm just going to make a ruler here. So it's more or less let's say it's an inch. And off it goes. I should have got my bigger scissors out. I've got a really big pair of scissors to do long cuts like this. But anyway, we are there. Now what I normally do, because I don't have that fancy little corner thing, first thing I do is just fold it over. Press it against the edge. And fold it over. Okay. And then I do my sides. And that side. And then we are going to cut across, leaving a little bit. So let's say I use a ruler. You can see that. I am just going to cut it about there. Okay, so I'm leaving a little bit of a gap between the tip of the corner and the cardstock. Yeah, how easy is that? So you don't have to use a ruler, you can actually just, you know, cut it yourself. But I know there's a fancy little gadget you can use to do this as well. But if we don't have it, this is how you do it. Not too much. Cut that out. Last one. A little bit more. There we go. Now I normally glue it, but as you know, I'm going to use tape because I'm running out. And I'm just going to stick it all the way across. I wonder if my knife is going blunt. I'm struggling to cut. Maybe it's going blunt. You can put 2 rows if you want. It's, it's also fine. There we go, that cut nicely. Same thing on this side. And then the side. And as you can see, I've got too much here, so I'm just cutting it out a little bit there. And then press it down. Take it off, and I'm just going to wrap that inside so there's no bits hanging out, and then from the center just press it down, and voila. Let's do the other side. So you see there's a bit of tape hanging over the edge. I'm just going to bring it in. And it should be fine. There we go. Now to do here, I am just going to do like so. This better work nicely, and flatten this corner. And let's have a look. Yeah, I think that's coming out quite nice. It's a little bit too long there, so I'm just going to trim it a tiny bit. That'll do. Same thing, take your tape off, fold it in. I'm just gonna, because it's being otherwise. Come on now. Yeah, I just don't like hanging the sticky part of the tape showing or hanging out, because like I said before, it can collect dust and then it just looks ugly. Right, once again, press your corners in. Test it. Yeah, I think it's fine. Again, this tape is hanging out. And there we go. Now very carefully, to try and avoid the cracking, I am just, if you do this slowly and carefully, it shouldn't crack. And if it does crack, well, what can I say? I think that should be okay. Nice and gently ease the cardstock. Yeah. So obviously where the seam is going to be the back. There we go. Easy peasy. Not difficult. And then sometimes, just to make it more flexible, I will do this way as well. And it didn't crack. Yippee! Right, next. Now we have the concertina. So as you can see, I've already cut it out. I'm just going to get my scoreboard. And let's just put that aside for the moment. I've cut this. It's 8 across, leaving a 2-inch margin. I mean, I did an extra one there, but 2-inch margin on either side. And then it's just under 7.5. And now you do it, if you do it at 7.5, the same as the pages, your whatchamacallit is not going to fit inside. Okay, so you always do just a tad smaller, so when you come to stick it in the file, in the album, it's not too tight. Now, very simple, easy way to do this. Like I said, I got carried away. I did an extra one there, but it's okay. So what I did is I started scoring at 2, and then I scored at every 1/2 inch, as you can see here. Every 1/2 inch I scored. And then what I do is I take, so you've got 1, 2, 3. So you bring those two together, like so. Sometimes I also make these longer. I didn't do it this time, but I'll use an extra one. But anyway, this is the way we're doing it now. And then you bring that up. So now you've got your concertina there. Okay. And I actually should have done this already off camera. Never mind. You can just fast forward this bit now where I just add the tape. Now this part I usually always tape. I don't use glue. It's just, I don't know, quicker. So that's one. Okay, that's going to go like so. Yes. And then we put it on the next one. Just make sure I'm putting it on the right side. Yeah. So we have here and here. And now we're going to put the last tape, excuse me, on this one. And that's all. So now what I'm going to do, again, just take off any bits that are hanging out like I have here. You don't want that showing at all. Cut it off. And then I am going to take it off. And I'm going to squeeze it together. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay. What did I do wrong? No, it's fine. There we go. Next one. Take it off. And squeeze it together. Take it off. And squeeze it together, and there you have your little concertina. Once you've done that, you're going to use your bone folder to work at it, and then you're going to do it the other way. Okay, like so. And you've got 2 on each side. And now I am just going to excuse me, sorry about that. Put tape all along it. Even this side you can also do that. This is the way I do most of my albums of the concertina. I just like it. I think it's very strong to hold heavy pages that have got lots of stuff on it. There are other ways, and you know, if you've got another way, then you must just do whatever you find easier. There. And one more. I think that's enough. Right in front of me. Once again, let's just press everything down. Bring my album here. Let's make sure my seam is at the back. I'm just lifting this to make it easier once I start sticking it down, because then you can just whip it off. See, I've got a bit of overhang there of tape, so I'm pressing it in. Here we go. Yeah, it's a little bit overhang, so I'm just going to cut it. I want it edge to edge. There we go. Now, again, I'm just going to eyeball it. I might have to get my noggin in the way of the camera to see it. So let's take off this one. Just makes it easier to put it on. It gives you, I'm going to stand up. Let's just bring it down a little bit. So that is more or less in the middle. Now you can see there's a good margin there. So let's just put that more. We'll try and make it even. I'm just straightening my, there we go. Yeah, hang on, there. Stick that down, there we go. And now just carry on taking off the rest. Of course you can glue it as well, but like I say, I mainly use tape with this. And sometimes I'll even, if it's a heavy one, like the baby album, then I will use the red tape. And you know, for whatever reason, if it does come off a little bit, just stick some glue. Here we go. How easy is that? It's not difficult. So again, I'm going to put it down. Yeah, just checking on the camera. I need to buy a bigger memory card because it keeps running out. So there we have it. Now, I may as well do it now, guys. Page 1. Where's page 1? Somewhere here. Oh, let's see. Here we go. remember correctly, I think this one is the last page there. And that one is going to close right there. So it fits in beautifully. Once again, I'm going to use my tape. And when you're making a very big album, like that baby one I made, which has got like 7 pages, plus the 2 for the cover, I will label them, and then put 1, 2, have little pieces of paper and number them, so I know exactly which one goes where, because it can get very confusing if you're making a big one. Go. And I'll put some down the middle. That's my dog. He can't understand why I've locked him out of the room. Oh dear, now he's demanding. Hi ladybugs. So I've now finished this album, well, almost finished it. This is the cover, the spine, and the back. And I didn't show you how I put my pages in, so before I do the quick flip through, I'm actually not going to do it because I'm not happy with all this white ribbon. I just don't think it looks nice, and I don't like that or that ribbon, so I'm going to take it out as soon as the lockdown is over, and I'm going to buy some black ribbon to replace it with, because I just think this just doesn't go. So I have already glued these pages in, I mean. And so here is the last concertina, and you can see I've put duct tape, double-sided tape on it. And I've put it right at the edge. You always want to leave some space between the edge of your tape and your concertina, because you're not going to put because I did this. The first time I made it, I made the mistake of pushing it all the way down and having no space between the bendy point. So when you put it on, and of course it's on both sides, so like I say, I want to take this off, so I'm not going to glue it on. But when I do put it on, I will make sure to leave some room right at the edge, so this doesn't clash with where it turns. Okay, so let me show you quickly the album. Obviously this is going, I've already put some photographs in here. That's how I do my albums. I stick the photographs in, and I also put them in here that I intend to put in my album, because these photographs, many of my parents, still have to be scanned, and like this one, you can see the color is all gone there. I mean, this is from the 70s, so that has to be fixed. So this opens like so. I'm just gonna go through it like so, like so, and photo mat. And I still want to put something here, but that will come as I finish it. And of course, big photo mat. So this one here, I added a little pocket, And of course the photo mat goes in there. I covered all the back strips. I just didn't like that black. I thought it didn't look nice. So the waterfall. So a photograph will go there. I still want to put a black button there. Can you believe it? I just don't have another black button. But anyway, can you see that? Little photo mat. So I will probably, once I've scanned them, you know, maybe even this one, and put my mom's face there. But only after I've scanned. And then we have I made the extra mat to go in here. This one I didn't cover because the photograph is going to go there. In fact, photographs obviously can go on both sides. And I just added this from the collection. Thought writing, journaling could go on there. I stuck that down. And of course, this will also go in here. She was in her 40s there, all sexy up. Shame. Why is that lifting? There's still a bit of paper on there. Didn't quite take it off properly. There we go. So that's that one. And then this one, last page. Big belly band. I might even make some more for here. There's quite a few photos I'm going to need to put. And I will make another one for here. It's lying around here somewhere. So this is almost a complete album for the Pretty Mosaic tutorial. And like I say, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please do let me know. I did do this one for someone special, the tutorial I mean. And so, yeah. So I hope you enjoyed it. But thank you for watching.